What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and as many of you can see, I do have my Mary at A3, and the reason for that is because on my live stream last night, I went ahead and decided to take a chance and spend money, buy one of these packs here, and I did some pulls, and I ended up getting some memories for Mary, which was actually pretty damn awesome. I actually got fairly lucky. If you guys would like to see that video, I'll gladly post that up for you, but today we're going to be focusing on the strongest blue in the game. Now, currently, the reigning champion is Dizzy. Dizzy is, well, has been the most powerful blue in the game by far. Just crazy dot explosion with the double dot, the burn, and the chill. 4.5 times the explosion. She also has, 30% PG rate. She also has the increased chill attack damage by 15%, the increased damage by 18% on a critical hit. I mean, she's got a lot of good things going for her. Plus, whenever she has a dot applied, she decreases active skill cooldown by 1 second whenever they're burned or chilled. Now, the thing to remember about this is, when it concerns Dizzy, is that her second skill has chill explosion, and her third skill has burn explosion. And whenever you apply burn from her first skill, or you apply chill from her first skill, once you hit the second skill, you remove the chill. Once you hit the third skill, you remove the burn. So the decreased skill cooldown is really only active when you ever hit the first skill one time, or you hit it twice for burn, and then you just kind of hit your active skills to try to decrease the active skill cooldown. That is something to remember about this character. Whereas a character like Mary doesn't have to worry about that because she doesn't have any explosion in her kit. Now, she doesn't even have the increased critical damage on a critical hit either, like Dizzy, right? But what she does have is this decreased active skill cooldown when applying to shock targets. Now, unlike Dizzy, because Mary doesn't have explosion, she never ever removes this, right? She always has the decreased active skill cooldown because she's never going to remove shock. It's always going to be applied the whole time, which means no matter what, you're always going to be able to run through your skills over and over and over and just do tons and tons of damage. And the other reason that Mary is going to be so strong, obviously, is because whenever she activates Stun Fang and attacking targets that can't be grabbed, which is always going to be like guild raids, the new dungeons, Spider Robot, the Immortal dungeons, she's going to deal shock damage equal to 550% of attack to the target every 0.15 seconds for 1 second. This is an insane amount of damage that she's going to be applying whenever she isn't doing grabs. And as you guys can see, old girl doesn't even have max capsules. She's got 69,577 CP. As far as her imprint stones, I do have the original 3 imprint stones that you get from getting this character, and then I have 1 attack stone with shock. So she's got 4 stones in total maxed out. And I am going to be running the 7 Night set on her because it actually increases your shock damage by 75% and your active skill damage by 23%. And then we're just going to run 2 defensive skill cooldown cards. The reason we're going to go with defensive skill cooldown cards is because it does increase her defenses. She does have an increased attack by 70% of defense for 7 seconds, and having those extra 2 defensive cooldown cards will help her out tremendously. And something important about Mary is that all you really want to do with the second and third skills, you just want to apply it one time. You just want to get the increased attack by 70% defense up for that 7 seconds. And you want to get that increased attack by 42% for 8 seconds. Once you have those things up, you pretty much just want to spam the first skill over and over and over, which increases target damage received by 30% for 8 seconds, and then drops lightning on the target, right? Dealing shock damage with 30% of attack for every 1 second for 8 seconds. You do this skill over and over and over, just repeat it over and over and over. After you've applied the third skill for the attack buff and the second skill for the other attack buff, and Mary will do insanity as far as damage. And we're going to be using Mary's leadership in one test, and then in the other test, we won't be using the leaderships at all for either one of the characters. And both of them do have crazy leaderships, with Mary increasing her grab skills by 60% and Dizzy increasing her balanced TIE fighter attack by 60%. Just insane leaderships for both these characters. And look at my CP for Dizzy. She has 84,593 CP. She has max capsules. She has 5 imprint stones, guys. 5 of them, not 4, 5. And we're going to be running the Merlin set, which actually increases chill damage by 75% and active skill damage by 23%, right? So when we're doing our chill explosion, her chill explosion is going to be just nuts because we're increasing the chill damage. And this set really, on my account, is the best set that I have available for Dizzy. And something else to keep in mind about this comparison is I'm not going to be using Mary's 3 PGs. We're not going to be getting no extra increased active skill damage by 4.5% or extra attack by 2% like Dizzy. Dizzy gets an extra attack by 2% from this card, and then she gets an increased active skill damage by 4.5%. Mary isn't getting that at all. She doesn't have any of her 3 PGs. She's just got the regular 3 PGs that we always have available in the game. So Mary has a lot of disadvantages in this little comparison. All right, so we'll just do a little practice run against this boss right here. Now, we'll go ahead and start with Dizzy first, and look at this, guys. I mean, look at the difference in their HP and attack, right? When it comes to Dizzy, she's got 340,000 HP, and Mary has 285,000. With the attack, Dizzy has 74,662 attack, and Mary has almost 62,000. That's a huge difference in attack numbers. And then Dizzy's got 19,700 defense, and Mary's got 24,000 defense. And now, in Mary's case, that defense does help her attack stats. So let's see how much damage we do before we actually get stunned and died by this boss. And by the way, Dizzy is godly. Like, her and Saul are godly in this game mode, and Eno, they're actually extremely good. But are they top tier? Well, let's find out when it concerns Dizzy. All right, now I'm going to go back and forth between doing burn and chill whenever I'm doing Dizzy's rotation. Okay, so we're going to apply the burn first, and then we're just going to do the chill. We'll do the default here. All right, now, let's go. Okay. And so that's about what I normally get, right? She gets up to around that 205 million range, somewhere around there, almost every time I play with her. So now let's see what Mary gets when we do this. Okay, and remember, Dizzy's got a lot of advantages. She's got some huge advantages. An extra imprint stone, full capsules. So let's switch them around. And let's see what happens now. And remember, with Mary, you just want to, once you apply the second and first, the third and the second skill, you just want to spam the crap out of the first skill. So I'm just going to do the third and the second first to get all of our buffs. Okay, we're going to keep going, and see, we can just keep using our decreased skill cooldown, right? And as you guys can see, Mary is absolutely nutso. Look at the damage that she's putting out, guys. 313 million. She did over 100 million more damage than Dizzy. Over 100 million more. And no matter what dot you apply to this boss, that's irrelevant. It doesn't even matter in this game mode. So if you're not convinced about who's the strongest right now, well, let's go into another game mode. Let's go into Dungeon of Trials. Yeah, you know we had to go in Dungeon of Trials and test here, as always. Now, in Dungeon of Trials, actually, Dizzy has another huge advantage, because at the very beginning of the fight against Spider Robot, he's weak to chill damage. That's right. Now, every time we do chill explosion, we're actually going to be removing the chill, but he is weak to it. He's weak to shock also, but by the time that the shock needs to be applied, we're already going to be already finished all of our awakened rotations for the character, so it's not even going to matter in Mary's case. So let me show you what Dizzy does in the very beginning, okay? And I tested this multiple times. I tried just applying chill, I tried just applying burn, and pretty much the damage was pretty similar in all cases. It really just seemed like if I just go between burn and chill back and forth, that was about the best. Sometimes when I just did chill, it was about the best, but pretty close in damage either way. Now check this out. See, increased damage received when chilled, all right? So we're going to get a big damage bump every time we chill this boss. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm just trying to go back and forth between her skills to apply chill and burn. And as you guys can see, we are at around 103 million. This is about the best damage I've done so far with her. So 103 million, almost 104 million with Dizzy. Now, let's see what Mary does. And remember, Mary isn't going to be applying chill. She is not going to have some kind of advantage early on in this fight. She's got a disadvantage versus Dizzy. Okay, here we go. All right. Let's do this. And I'm going to try to play Mary the same way as I played her a second ago in that other dungeon. And as you guys are going to see, she just starts pouring it out bigger than crap. Look at this. Look at the damage numbers, guys. 157 million, right? 157 million. She is doing a lot more damage than Dizzy. So I think it goes without saying that Mary is the strongest blue in the game. One less Imprint Stone, doesn't have full max capsules. I mean, that is a big difference in damage in both these game modes that I did. And in Guild Raid, you know, I mean, obviously Dizzy would have an advantage then, you know, because you could actually use Burn on hard mode against Omega Rugal. But Mary's going to have a big advantage because you can actually play her on Lunatic against Nightmare Geese. We even showed at A1 that she could absolutely solo Nightmare Geese and not even need a 3PG. That is pretty freaking nuts. So, I mean, as strong as this love lady is here, Dizzy, I mean, Dizzy's still an amazing character, guys. But Mary, she takes the cake, man. She is the strongest blue in the game, just godly as far as the damage output. And I do have 1,000, almost 1,300 rubies. So let's go ahead and do one quick little pull because I am getting near this pity. I am going to go to the pity. I actually was able to get my Terry to A2. So I want to try to make sure that I can get him to A3 because he is just godly. So let's see what we get. It really would be some icing on the cake if I actually got a memory, but I'm pretty sure I won't. This banner's been pretty crappy. Oh yeah, nothing at all. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Really the only goal is just to get to that pity, which I only need 4 more pulls to do. It's going to definitely happen before this banner ends. So I will be able to get Terry to A3 and maybe do some other comparisons where Terry versus maybe another red character. So let me know how y'all doing in the game. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See you, everyone.